Welcome back, everyone. Today we have breaking news out of Dallas that has Cowboys Nation buzzing with excitement and speculation. The Dallas Cowboys are reportedly hosting free agent pass rusher Jadeveon Clowney for a visit, and this has sparked immediate conversations about what it could mean for the team's defensive front, their overall Super Bowl aspirations, and the future of this roster. The timing of this development is fascinating, and it gives us a lot to unpack as we dive into the details of Clowney's potential fit, what his signing could mean for the Cowboys defense, and whether this is a short-term depth move or a major addition that could change the trajectory of the season. Jadeveon Clowney is one of the most recognizable names in the NFL over the past decade, known for his freakish athleticism, versatility, and ability to disrupt offenses in multiple ways. Drafted first overall back in 2014, he entered the league with sky-high expectations after that legendary hit in college at South Carolina that still circulates on highlight reels today. Over the years, he's had stints with the Houston Texans, Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, and most recently the Baltimore Ravens. While he has not always produced eye-popping sack totals, his impact has gone beyond the box score, as he consistently draws attention from offensive lines, disrupts plays in the backfield, and sets the edge in the run game. Now, the Cowboys being connected to Clowney is significant because of the current state of their roster. With DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons already leading the charge, adding another experienced and physically dominant presence like Clowney could create one of the most fearsome defensive fronts in the entire NFL. Imagine an opposing offensive coordinator preparing for a game against Dallas already dealing with Parsons' relentless pressure, now also having to account for Clowney on the other side or even lining up inside in certain packages. It would create mismatches across the board and allow the Cowboys to rotate their defensive linemen more effectively, keeping everyone fresh deep into games and late into the season. The timing of this visit is especially intriguing. We are just days away from the regular season heating up, and typically at this point teams are finalizing depth charts rather than making splash moves. The fact that the Cowboys are bringing Clowney in suggests that they are actively looking to bolster their pass rush rotation, either because of injury concerns, long-term planning, or simply because they see an opportunity to get stronger where they are already good. That in itself sends a message to the locker room and the fan base that the front office is all in on this season and is not afraid to make bold moves to maximize their championship window. Clowney's recent season with the Ravens also gives us reason to believe he still has plenty left in the tank. In Baltimore, he showed flashes of the dominant force he can be when healthy, using his length, power, and explosiveness to consistently disrupt plays. He may not be the type of player to rack up 15 sacks in a season, but he can generate pressure, collapse pockets, and create opportunities for teammates around him. And in Dallas, with a defense that already thrives on speed and aggression, Clowney would fit seamlessly into Dan Quinn's system, which loves to rotate players and unleash them in creative ways to attack quarterbacks. The Cowboys' defensive identity under Quinn has been built on chaos blitzing from multiple angles, disguising coverages, and using players in versatile roles. Clowney is tailor-made for that type of scheme. He can rush from the edge, line up inside, or even drop back on certain plays, and that kind of flexibility is gold for a defensive coordinator who loves to keep offenses guessing. Think about the possibility of lining up Parsons, Lawrence, and Clowney on the field at the same time. How do you even block that? Offenses would be forced to make tough choices, and no matter what, someone is getting a favorable matchup. Of course, there are questions that come with Clowney as well, and Cowboys fans know it's important to be realistic. Durability has always been part of the conversation with him. Throughout his career, injuries have prevented him from being consistently dominant over long stretches. That's why the idea of him joining Dallas is so compelling, because he wouldn't be asked to be the guy. He would be a part of a rotation, taking some of the load off his shoulders, and that might be the exact formula that allows him to stay fresh and maximize his impact. It's not about Clowney needing to come in and carry the defense, it's about him being another weapon in an already loaded arsenal. From a financial standpoint, the Cowboys have to consider how a deal would fit into their cap situation, especially with big extensions looming for players like CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons down the road. But Clowney's market at this point of his career is not going to demand top-tier money. He's more likely to command an incentive-laden, short-term deal, which makes the risk versus reward calculation even more favorable for Dallas. For a relatively modest investment, they could secure a veteran with playoff experience who immediately boosts their depth and versatility on the defensive line. The other angle to consider here is the message this sends to the rest of the NFC. The Cowboys are already viewed as one of the stronger contenders in the conference, and making a move like this signals that they are not complacent. They're not settling for good enough, they want to dominate, and they want to build a defense that can go toe-to-toe with anyone, including high-powered offenses like the San Francisco 49ers or Philadelphia Eagles. In a league where the margin for error is razor-thin, adding another difference-maker could be the edge that tips a close playoff game in Dallas' favor. It's also worth looking at how Clowney himself views this potential move. For a veteran player like him, at this stage in his career, it's not just about the money, it's about chasing a ring. Dallas represents one of the best opportunities for that. They have a championship-caliber defense, an offense led by Dak Prescott with plenty of playmakers, and the national spotlight that always comes with playing for the Cowboys. Signing with Dallas would give Clowney the chance to cement his legacy not just as a physical marvel, but as a player who contributed to a team's championship run. That kind of motivation can bring out the best in a player, and if he signs, you can bet he'll be locked in and hungry. Fans are already reacting with a mix of excitement and cautious optimism. Social media lit up the moment reports broke that Clowney was visiting Dallas, with fans imagining the possibilities of what this defense could look like. Some are concerned about his injury history and whether this is just another big-name signing that doesn't pan out, but the majority seem to recognize that the upside here is huge compared to the risk. And you can't deny the buzz that comes when a player of Clowney's stature is linked to America's team, it just feels bigger. Now, the big question everyone wants answered: will Clowney actually sign with Dallas? Or is this just a visit that leads nowhere? That depends on a few factors. First, how does he fit into their vision for the defensive line rotation? Second, do both sides agree on the financials? And third, does Clowney himself feel like this is the right spot for him to compete and contribute? If the answers line up, we could see a deal happen quickly, perhaps even within the next couple of days. And if it does, you can be sure Cowboys Nation will be celebrating what could be one of the most under-the-radar yet impactful moves of the season. Regardless of the outcome, this visit alone is a reminder of how aggressive the Cowboys are willing to be in pursuit of greatness. They're not standing still, they're constantly looking for ways to improve and put themselves in the best position to win. Bringing in Jadeveon Clowney, even for a look, proves that they're thinking about the long grind of the season, about the depth they'll need in December and January, and about giving their coaches every tool possible to dominate on defense. So as we wait for the next update, Cowboys fans can't help but dream about what's possible. Picture that defensive line wreaking havoc on opponents, Parsons flying around the field, Lawrence setting the edge, and Clowney coming in to add another level of destruction. It's the kind of vision that makes you believe the Cowboys could field not just a great defense, but a historically dominant one. Time will tell if this signing happens, but one thing is clear: the Dallas Cowboys are serious about making this season one to remember. That's the latest on the Jadeveon Clowney situation with the Dallas Cowboys. If you're excited about the possibility of Clowney joining America's team, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think this move makes sense? Do you think he still has enough left in the tank to make a big impact? And would adding him make the Cowboys defense the most feared unit in the NFL? Drop your opinions in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started. Thanks for tuning in, And if you enjoyed this breakdown of the Cowboys' latest news, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future updates. We'll keep you covered with all the latest breaking news, rumors, and analysis surrounding the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL. Stay locked in, because if Clowney signs, you can bet we'll be right back here breaking it all down for you.